What's with the garlic? Oh, well, I just found out we have cellular zombies literally building an army inside of us as we speak. Yeah, so apparently when a cell gets damaged or stressed, it stops dividing. But in this case, it doesn't die. It just sits there and slowly damages all the nearby cells, literally creating a zombie army from within. So we're gonna do what they do in the movies. Kill them with garlic. Huh, but you know, that's used to kill vampires in the movies. We have vampire cells too? I'm gonna need more garlic. No, Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Today, we are talking about some must-know cellular longevity liabilities that accelerate the aging process and a few nutrients that can help defend against them, keeping you young where it really matters. Get your mind out of the gutter, production team, all right? At the cellular and metabolic level. These are some of the top disease-driving mechanisms that longevity gurus theorize are driving and accelerating the cellular dysfunction that is ultimately responsible for the slow and steady demise of our pretty cool meat suits. But don't worry, we'll turn that frown upside down by highlighting 4 additions that you can make to your diet to help stave off the cellular grim reaper as long as possible. The 2 main aging pathways that we're covering today are cellular senescence and oxidative stress. So without further ado, probably makes sense to start with why you should care. Here's the thing, our cells are constantly undergoing reactions. That's essentially how we survive. It is mandatory for biological business, otherwise known as being alive. And one of the results of this cellular activity is the formation of unstable molecules called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. These ROS are a key byproduct involved in the body's immune and inflammatory responses. But if these ROS are left unattended for too long, they'll start to scurry around in search for an electron to neutralize themselves. And if one isn't donated, they'll steal one, many times from a cellular protein, lipid, or even DNA, damaging the unwilling donor in the process. Not cool, I know. However, being the survival machines that we are, we have natural defenses that neutralize these potentially harmful ROS, such as antioxidants. However, if ROS production increases due to less than optimal lifestyle factors and our antioxidant systems become overwhelmed, we can have some trouble on our hands, cellular hands. What type of trouble, you ask? One notable situation is being in a state of oxidative stress, which is caused by the imbalance between the production and accumulation of ROS in cells and tissue, and the ability of our body to detoxify these reactive products, resulting in the overstimulation of the immune system and a state of constant low-dose chronic inflammation, which I know, you know, is bad for biological business. Now, like we alluded to before, the best way to deal with ROS is by neutralizing them with a free electron. Ideally, an electron donated from an antioxidant molecule. But if there aren't enough donors in town, these ROS strip electrons from cellular proteins, lipids, and DNA, driving and continuing this vicious cycle of chronic inflammation and cellular damage. Again, not cool. And this right here leads to longevity liability number 2. When DNA or cells get damaged, many times they stall their division so they can stop the spread of said damage. This is known as cellular senescence, or the much cooler name, zombie cells. Everyone likes zombies. That's why we eat our garlic each and every day. And we have a full video breaking down zombie cells here. Long story short, cellular senescence is defined as irreversible cell cycle arrest. In non-technical terms, our cells get a boo-boo and they just sit there. And then they get spiteful and start causing trouble. Kind of reminds me of you, production team. Just saying. This is thought to be driven by a variety of different mechanisms, including telomere shortening, genotoxic stress, DNA damage, and inflammation, many of which are byproducts of oxidative stress. Ever hear of it? And don't get me wrong, this process isn't all bad. It's good in the fact that it prevents the multiplication of potentially compromised cells, mitigating the risk of unstoppable divisions of mutated cells. Now, the bad part is that this cellular senescence is an upregulator of low-dose chronic inflammation, which we know ain't cool. This is a condition that is tightly associated with age, and that seems to be the case for a variety of different reasons. First, we simply have more time for insults to develop. And second, when we live a typical disease-friendly Western lifestyle, we often develop a tired, weak, overly active immune system that paves the way for cellular senescence, adding fuel to the potential inflammatory fire. So with that background, what are some ways that we can put our body in the very best position to defend and prevent against these longevity party poopers? 4 nutrients that can help kill zombie cells and prevent oxidative stress. First, a quick word on antioxidants. Unsurprisingly, all of these nutrients that we're about to go through have potent antioxidant properties. This allows them to donate an electron to ROS, neutralizing them without becoming unstable themselves. I know, the cellular hero you never knew you needed. I mean, you don't see any Marvel movies about antioxidants. Forget I said that. Write that one down. Research has displayed that these neutralizing compounds work their magic by inhibiting telomere shortening, DNA damage, and other processes related to aging and cellular senescence. And foods rich in these antioxidants can modulate the aging process by helping delay the progression of chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Let's look at some of them. First, polyphenols. Polyphenols are compounds that we get through certain plant-based foods. They're packed with antioxidants, as well as having many other health-promoting benefits. And most people consume polyphenols in one of 2 ways. First, through the food that they eat, and second, in supplement form. But how do they work? Evidence has shown that foods high in polyphenols can upregulate longevity pathways, affecting the aging process and protecting against age-related disease such as cataracts, atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's, hypertension, arthritis, and diabetes. I mean, I don't know about you, production team, but I'd take protection from all of those any day of the week. 2 well-studied polyphenols, resveratrol and pterostilbene, which are found in grapes and blueberries, have demonstrated anti-aging properties through several mechanisms, including the upregulation of the oh-so-cool and awesome sirtuin enzymes, which we talk about here. They have also been shown to inhibit oxidative stress pathways and inflammation while modulating cellular senescence and slowing down telomere shortening. And while doing so, they've been shown to upregulate longevity pathways such as our cellular recycling program, autophagy, stem cell renewal, DNA repair, and neuronal protection. By now, if you're convinced, like production team over there, eating their blueberries and drinking their wine, these are some good polyphenol-rich adds to the daily diet. Cloves, berries, black and green tea, coffee, cocoa powder and dark chocolate, black beans, nuts, colorful veggies, and the famous red wine. No, production team, we are not playing slap the bag. Put it down. You remember what happened last time. Nope. We'll play when the cameras are off. You're going down this time. What's next? Let me introduce you to coenzyme Q10, otherwise known as CoQ10. And I don't know about you, but this just has a cool name, so it's got to do some cool stuff. Let's see. CoQ10 is a compound that helps generate energy in our cells. One of its main functions is to help make adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is our main energy currency for cellular function. It's not Dogecoin yet, it's ATP. It also serves as an antioxidant and helps protect our cells from oxidative damage. You remember that? And given that ATP is used to carry out all of the body's functions and oxidative damage is destructive to cells, it's not surprising that there's been a close association between chronic disease and low levels of CoQ10. The notable ones being heart disease, brain disorders, diabetes, and cancer. The good news is our body can produce this naturally. The bad news is production tends to decrease as we get older. So fortunately, we can get CoQ10 from supplements and from food. So here are some high CoQ10 dietary ads. Organ meat, including heart, kidney, and liver. Fatty fish, such as trout, herring, mackerel, and sardines. Vegetables, such as spinach, cauliflower, and broccoli. Fruits, such as strawberries and oranges. Legumes, such as soybeans, lentils, and peanuts. And nuts, notably sesame seeds and pistachios. Everyone loves pistachios. I mean, come on. But before you get cooking, we have 2 more nutrients to cover. And I am sure you've heard of this next one. Vitamin C. Everybody loves vitamin C, otherwise known as ascorbic acid, and for good reason. It is an essential vitamin, meaning it is one that we can't synthesize in-house. And it helps carry out many internal functions that have been associated with many health benefits. One being its potent antioxidant profile, which has been shown to modulate oxidative stress and aging processes by scavenging free electrons and slowing down immunosenescence, or the gradual aging and dysfunction of our immune system. It can also affect cellular senescence by modulating epigenetic pathways that are important for the prevention of age-related diseases, such as neurodegeneration, atherosclerosis, and insulin resistance, aka diabetes. Interestingly enough, we also covered how it can be used as a strategy to treat certain types of cancers, which you can check out here. All in all, you don't want to be deficient in this, as it can affect the demethylation of our DNA, aka the loss of cellular identity, and accelerate the aging process. So let's do the opposite and eat up. Some foods to add include guava, kiwi, citrus fruit, peppers, strawberries, black currants, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, tomato, and kale. And of course, you can always supplement as well. And finally, we finish with a Mediterranean favorite, olive oil. Okay, so this isn't a nutrient per se, but it's got a lot of nutrients in it, so counts for something. Hear me out. Olive oil is the natural oil extracted from olives. Its predominant fatty acid is a monosaturated fat called oleic acid, which makes up 73% of the total oil content. Research suggests that oleic acid reduces inflammation and may even have a beneficial effect on genes related to cancer. But it don't stop there. It's also high in phenolic compounds, which are phytochemicals found in plants that induce DNA protective pathways. Along with that, it is potent in a number of additional compounds that have shown the ability to scavenge free radicals and reduce oxidative stress. This, as you can imagine, is good for biological business, with olive oil consumption being associated with a reduced risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other age-related diseases. And it may very well be one of the reasons that the Mediterranean diet gets so much hype. Now, it's important to know, not all olive oil is created equal. In fact, a lot can happen between the time of harvest and getting to your plate. So here's what I like to see in my olive oil. 100% pure olive oil, cold pressed, organic, and single sourced. Many restaurants, including high-end ones, end up cutting their olive oil with low-quality oils such as canola oil to save a few bucks. So when in doubt, carry some in your travel bag, just like production team does. And those right there are the 4 ways to take out zombie cells and their chaos-seeking molecular friends before they can take you out. Remember, as I know you guys always do, there is no silver bullet when it comes to health. Part of taking back ownership of your most valuable asset is accepting the fact that a holistic strategy focused around sleep, nutrition, movement, and environment is needed. And no 2 people are the same. build these slow and sustainable habits that will get you feeling like $1,000,000 more days than not, all while keeping your biological operations running cool, clean, and efficient for the long run. And in this modern day, it certainly doesn't just happen. But that doesn't mean it can't or it shouldn't. You just need to do the work. What you put in is what you get out. Literally. And figuratively. Speaking of that, I wonder what would happen if I took all those ingredients we just talked about and mixed it into a big, nourishing mess. And production team, quick, the kitchen.